Welcome to the Crypto Weekly Technical Analysis Update. Central bank policymakers vote to cut the key interest rate by 25 basis points, with two more rate cuts penciled in this year. The U.S. job market is showing signs of weakening due to slow growth, a falling unemployment rate, and fewer job openings, signaling a potential economic slowdown. Crypto struggling to make new highs. Is this the beginning of a flush out? Let's find out. Take a look at the Bitcoin chart. So maybe we should take a look back all the way to May. So we had an attempt up at the 111 mark and discovered a resistance level. Came down, tried to come up again to revisit. It didn't work. And then on the third push up, we went right through it. And then we had this period here where it just got really lazy and complacent. And then we had a sell-off coming back to that support line and confirming that, this resistance has been flipped into support. We go back up and then everybody's like, okay, new all-time high, and we are going places. Let's get ready for that 135 to 150 price target. But then it just got flushed out. Lots of news about whales dumping on the market. Anyway, once we got down below this 111 level, when things started to look a little bit shady, because you have broken through this long-term support and its lookout below to the 90s. Okay. We have come back up from it, which is a great start for the recovery. And up here by around the 118 level, we have this high volume area at this price. And that signals that this is a level of interest for both buyers and sellers. Now, I gave you this whole story to just point out that this 111 level is really important. If we come back below 111, I doubt we're going to have any more highs for a while. And it will probably go down pretty hard. I'm trying to figure out if the market has exhausted the buyers. Lots of hype, retail is all in at this point, I think, for the most part, except those that may have quit on crypto. The hope here is that Wall Street will start pumping again, and that the OTC desk trades will actually start to spill into the actual price of Bitcoin. Now, our target for this coming week is that we want as much as possible to hold this trend line here and break this 118 level. Once we go through this, I think this will be our third shot at this zone up here. And the third shot is going to be the highest probability for a breakout to new highs. Same as what we mentioned back here. We had one push, two, and then on the third, we broke through it. Fairly common theme in technical analysis. We are going up for our third push. We cannot fail in this pocket. This is what you really got to watch. I do have a small position in Bitcoin. And if we break through this, I'm going to add into it because next stop, based on Fibonacci extensions, 135, 141, maybe even higher. To Ethereum, this is the main trend line you want to pay attention to. You can see how many points of contact we have. 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. And you have this upper trend line here. So this is kind of like a triangle or pennant forming. This is the important trend line. We cannot break this. We cannot go down here. This has to break to the upside. When you have a triangle forming, you have selling pressure from the top trying to bring it down. You have buyers at the bottom. It's a tug of war until one side wins. And if it breaks to the upside here, we get two candles. So, one candle for the breakout, a second one for confirmation. We should be headed up to the next level for Ethereum. I really do think that we will see 6,400 pretty soon, maybe by year end. I don't know if I agree with the really big estimates on Wall Street from Tom Lee that it's going to be 15-ish plus, who knows. But we're just watching these levels, and if it breaks through, that's a good indicator. XRP, we had this long-term downward move, and we just pierced through it. And then after we broke out of it, we pulled back to it to retrace to the trend line. And then now we're just going sideways. We should, if we get some volume coming in, volume is not too great, but if we get a little bit of volume, this thing should start chopping to the upside. Overall, crypto market looking good. And this is the Chainlink chart. This is probably my favorite chart out of all the crypto ones. This is starting to really look like a textbook cup and handle. Pretty clean one. You have the depth right here, and then this is kind of like you get a small channel forming the handle. Sometimes it kind of loops upward to here. But the important thing to watch out for is this $27 line. Now, when you have this formation, once you break above the top, this is what you do. Take a measurement from the bottom all the way to the top. It's about $17. And then you take it from the top here. Same number, 17. Let me bring this down. And that takes your minimum move to about $44 based on this, right? So as I said, I had a dedicated video for Chainlink. The all-time high market cap is here around $33 based on the market cap chart. So once we break this is a good indicator for Chainlink that it is, going through into blue sky territory from a market cap perspective. So targets up next, we're going to say 33, 44. Watch for the break of the $27 trend line. If this comes down here, then this trend is invalidated. But it looks like a pretty strong. We have Solana, and it's looking pretty bullish. Not only have we broken out of the channel, we are headed higher, and it looks like it's going to tackle 263 next. The narrative is starting to come back to Solana, and there's the old discussion of, can Solana flip Ethereum? Can it take over? But now they're trying to coexist together in a way. And here is a post from X from Anatoly Yakovenko. He's saying, increase Ethereum to handle Solana's bandwidth and add a ZKP for Solana state root, and everyone should be happy. Solana can be a single global execution layer for all the settlement networks. So what he's basically proposing is that Solana has the speed, and then it should be the execution layer, whereas Ethereum would be the settlement layer. In a way, you can think of it as Solana, being a side chain or a layer two to Ethereum. So, the narrative is starting to come back into here, and you can see a result of the buying. This is probably ahead most of the other cryptos. I'll argue that Solana is forming kind of like that cup and handle formation, which hasn't happened yet. But, you know, it's something to watch out for. Cardano looking very similar. You have that rounding bottom. We just have not gotten up to the top yet. Form that handle and then break out to the upside. Very sideways action. It seems like YouTube channels these days cannot stop talking about Sui everywhere. It has a lot of hype, but I don't know the tokenomics, like how much is in the circulating supply. I believe I took a look at it and I did not like it. However, just, you know, from a charts perspective, and, you know, if I'm missing something about Sui, please let me know in the comments. You know, a lot of these altcoins, they are either going to make it or they're going to go to zero. So you got to ask yourself, is something like this Sui, is it going to outdo the likes of Solana and Ethereum, or can it coexist with Ethereum? Well, we'll see. Anyway, we had this big chop here. You know, we went down, we tried to come back up, pull back, came back up, retest of the trend line. You guys can see here there's a recurring theme through most of these coins. Came back, tested a second time, and now it's starting to, you know, flatten out. Again, just need some time. We have to be patient. Something is unwinding in the crypto market, and we're going to see which way it goes. This is a interesting one to trade. It tends to be very volatile when it, you know, flips bullish. Just watching it here to see what happens. Pretty much sideways action. We are above the 32-cent line, and this is where kind of like your line in the sand not to go below. Just one last thing I want to show you on the total crypto market cap. We have this line that goes back all the way to 2021. And yeah, one point of contact here, a second, and now we've been going up in this channel. Try to pierce this line once, twice, failed on the third attempt. We pushed right through it, came back down. Looks a lot like the Bitcoin chart. And then now we came above it and then retested. So we are confirming above this line for the first time, because every other time it just came back down. Now it seems to have found its support. You could argue it happened as well here, but this is a longer duration where it's staying above. Now, why is this line so significant? This is kind of like the beginning of the parabolic phase that you hear so much about. Down here, this is just one in crypto. Once it flips above here, you're going to see something insane. If it happens, just watching this, I find it just very interesting. Subscribe so you can get notifications for the next one. Thanks, guys.